As a game, have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Tell you what was the most interesting part of Doug Christie's post-game press conference in just a moment here. It's a Drive Guys, but you know, Jay, we're on till 4:30-ish. Then we'll take you up to the pregame show for the Thursday night football game. So I think we'll be on the air, depending on how it times out, when we get the actual announcements for Major League Baseball's most valuable players.
Yeah.
I think we know how they're going to go. I guess there is a chance for something of an upset in the American League. It's possible Cal Raleigh sneaks past Aaron Judge today. It's possible.
Who would you like to see? Does it matter? Or you looking for someone specific?
It's a great story and everything, but when I look at it, I feel like, it's probably Aaron Judge. Although, I'd be okay with Cal Raleigh, but I would go Aaron Judge, and he's going to win the National League again. Yeah.
That's the one I'm like,
Cal Raleigh did play, he did everything that he did while playing catcher, which is an important position.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, they both deserve it. Only one can win. I would be okay with either, but I'd like to see a little fresh blood, a little new blood. And Aaron Judge is a beast. He's a baller. No disrespect to Aaron Judge. But the Yankees win so much, even though they haven't won as of late as a team. But they're just so recognizable. I'd take a Seattle Mariners W.
Yeah. The thing about Judge, and we'll get back to the Kings in just a moment, but he hit 50 home runs and he led the majors in batting average.
I know, which is unheard of these days.
Yeah, he had 331 and he hit 50 homers. That's tough to overcome.
It is. It very much is. It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Schwarber, Juan Soto are the finalists, but we know how that's going to go. So anyway, we may be able to share that with you before we go. And, of course, if we don't, you'll figure it out for yourself. Realize that. The most interesting thing to me about Doug Christie's postgame last night was when Jason Anderson asked him the question, which is really what a lot of this comes down to for Coach Christie here as he struggles with this. This is unacceptable. We've got to do this. We've got to play like this. I don't understand. This is how you play. And Jason Anderson asked him, how do you get the players to care the way you care? I may be paraphrasing slightly, but that essentially was the question. How do you get the players to care as much as you, Doug Christie, care? And he stopped for a long time. And in fact, somebody thought he was done. I think he's asked a good question. And somebody started to ask him another question. And he said, no, hold on. I'm thinking.
Yeah, he said, J.A., you guys asked me for a lot of questions. I mean, you always ask thoughtful questions.
Yeah.
But I could say a lot of it was like, you know what? Let me make sure I say the correct.
Well, sure. There's that too. Yeah.
So
yeah,
you just never know. You never know.
Yeah. That's one of the hard things for any coach who's played, right? Is especially a guy like Coach Christie. It's like, why don't you guys care as much as I care? Because for him, that's like the only way to do it. For some players, if they don't care that way, they don't succeed. Yeah. So when a guy like that sees somebody that doesn't necessarily care that same way, it's got to be difficult, Jay.
It's kind of one of those things where I've always, and Whitey, you've been part of teams and coach teams. I kind of put it this way. Some people prepare and they got to listen to heavy metal, rock, something fast and hard. Some people have to listen to classical. Some people need absolute silence, right? However you get ready for a game is how you get ready for a game. There's no disrespect to that. To me, Doug is one way. He's 100% in, 110% in. He's giving you it his all. As he's talked about, I know what time I get here. I know I'm here super early. I know I'm one of the last ones to leave. I'm in this thing. I'm in there for the fight. And that's what you see, the passion, the authenticity come through. He knows no other way but to go 100%. And so you can see that frustration when he feels certain people, the team, players, coaches, I don't know, everyone not going 100% or going at the same pace that he is.
Yeah. I know that we all go through or a lot of us go through something similar in other walks of life. I'm just thinking years ago in radio, because I always, prepped, Jay knows, maybe to a fault. I got all my notes and everything, and I work hard on the show beforehand. And I've in the past worked with people, and I'm talking about before I even got here, people that didn't do it the same way. And I was like, made me very angry. And it took me a long time to realize not everybody does it the same way.
Yep.
And ultimately, I think it was on me. It's like, no, okay, I do it this way. Other people do it other ways. As long as you're here when the show starts and we can do a show. But it's hard. It's hard.
Sure. Especially when you look around, Whitey, and you can attest to this, when you feel like you're the one who's putting the most effort in, if not giving it all your 100%, you look around and your questioning is anyone moving or believing or feeling the same way that you are. But then there's some type of, for lack of a better word, resentment in the form of, well, am I doing this all by myself? Am I doing more than everybody else? But as you said, there's just multiple directions and multiple ways to get to the finish line.
Right.
How you choose to do it. You can drive, you can walk, ride a bike, hit a skateboard, whatever you need to do to get to the finish line. We all aren't moving at the same speed.
Yeah, and I think ultimately one of the challenges of being a coach or a manager, which I've never been like in management or anything, is figuring out, okay, this person does it this way, that person does it that way. Well, how do we get them on the same page? And even though they go about it different ways, how do we get the best out of them? And I would think maybe that's something that a younger coach has to. It's not something you just, okay, I got it. Probably takes years to figure out.
Yeah.
And it's a unique situation for a young coach too, or a newer coach, when you've got everything now all of a sudden swirling around. It was easy when it's like, we're trying to win and do this, and then, wait, we're trying to win, but we're trying to develop players, and we're rebuilding. It's a tall ask. But that's the nature of it.
That's part of the game, right?
Yeah,
it is something that you have to just, you got to put your head down and be steadfast about it. There are probably, when you look at the board, you started the season, you look at the, the boxes that you want to check as a Kings organization. I'm pretty sure that list is very lengthy.
Yeah,
It probably is super long, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 pages for all we know. So you just try to check off as many boxes as possible. But we also know when you're in the fight, when it's a day-to-day situation, when you're trying to go out and win games, sometimes you look at that list and like, oh man, I got to get back to that. I need to make sure that we take care of that. So it's just the situation is dire, absolutely, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I understand, the frustration of fans. We've been saying the last couple of days, look, this is not a good team right now, and they're going to lose a lot of games. So don't go crazy over that. Don't drive yourself nuts over it. Not saying it's fine, but it's going to be that way for a while. But I do understand the frustration also from this point. You look at this roster right now and you look at your options, and a rebuild makes the most sense. But it didn't have to be this way, if we're being honest. You go back to the Beam Team year, and there's people that aren't even here anymore, and we don't know who made what decision. But, they won the 48 games. They didn't do anything the next year, and if you're a Kings fan, you know all this. They probably overcommitted financially to Domas at the expense, perhaps, of adding talent. They ended up trading. They basically gave Davion Mitchell away. They did not bring in the type of help that De'Aaron Fox was hoping they'd bring in. They lost last night to the Warriors, by the way, but it was a good game, and the Spurs are playing well. So, yeah, I get that frustration too. Again, I'm not saying, oh, this is great, this is wonderful, it's a rebuild. Didn't have to be this way. There were a number of missteps, obviously, between the 48 wins and where we are now. I mean, even just deciding, bring in DeMar, oh, okay, and then we'll bring in Zach LaVine too, which, that never worked. Why would it work here? Nothing against them, but it's just, so anyway, I understand the frustration because a rebuild, as we said, Jay, it's a bumpy road. If it's even a road, some of it's just rocky terrain that you got to figure out. You got to build your own road through it. How long does that take? It may take a long time. That's where they are now. I understand the frustration because it didn't have to be that way. But bottom line, that's where they are, and that's the best move given where it all is right now.
Yeah, you're preaching over there, Mr. Gleason. You're preaching, brother. Whew. You're preaching. Tabernacle.
Yeah. When we come back, now that the rebuild has officially started, where does that leave the Kings next? Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever have an unwanted, unwelcome visitor in your home, and they're in there and they're messing up your stuff, and they're getting into the fridge? And I mention this because winter, I know we need the 4 seasons, but winter with the winter chill, gonna be here soon. And bringing with it the frigid temperatures once again. Of course, it's raining. I know we need the rain, but we need to stay warm as well. How's your furnace looking, your heater? You got to maintain that sucker. And if you are thinking, perhaps I need to get my unit looked at, so to speak, leesair.com. Last year, as I've told you many times, at Whitey Woods, our HVAC system, our heater just conked out, our furnace conked out. leesair.com. We went there, and they helped us out, and they got us back on track, and they're keeping us toasty warm. So if you have some of these needs, HVAC, plumbing, heating, Lee's is the place to go, even though there are so many choices. Why choose Lee's? 100% satisfaction guarantee, as I've told you. 4.8 stars on Google. They've won awards for their service. More than 40 years serving the Valley's HVAC, heating, and plumbing needs. They can install, repair AC, furnace, and water heater. And check it to leesair.com for the current specials to make sure that you are ready for the unwanted, unwelcome visit of winter. Let Lee's take care of you the way they took care of me, treating us like family, set us up with an HVAC system that has improved our quality of life. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. leesair.com, license number 635355.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery, embrace the company of family and friends, and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Staples presents An Easy Holiday.
Running a small business during the holidays is hard.
No truer words were...
But this year, Staples helped me have an easy holiday.
Your script has a typo.
Nope, easy peasy. I just ordered online at staples.com and picked up in store. And with UPS on site, shipping was easy too. Plus, huge savings on tech, custom cards, even my holiday sales signage.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com today for up to 45% off select laptops.
That was easy.
Ins 12/27.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Match your way to $50K this holiday season with Sky River Casino's $250,000 holiday cash match. Earn entries daily by playing your favorite slots and table games. Plus, unwrap 100 bonus entries every Tuesday. Then join us on select Saturdays for a chance to win up to $50,000 cash. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or over.
Black Friday savings start now. Get your best deal through the end of the month at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
With Black Friday savings during Happy Honda Days, own or lease your new Honda Accord or Civic today. Your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Bottom of the hour, we'll take you to pregame action, if that is such a thing, for the Jets and the Patriots. Jay and Whitey, of course, we've been spending the show going over how we feel, what we think of where the Kings are, what happened to them last night. Not surprised that they got boat raced last night. Thought that was a bad matchup, and that's not an excuse. It's just a fact. That said, some of the defense it's about some of the worst defense I think I've ever seen at the NBA level. Just like, wow, just people getting blown past. Not just, in fast break and transition situations, but just in the half court, just dribblers going into the lane and just going around people, through people, all the way to the basket. It was alarming. But I think we're going to see, hopefully not more of that. But as we said, Jay, it's going to be a rough road here for the rest of this year. And we've got to probably be satisfied, or at least try to occupy ourselves with what's going on with the development of some of the younger guys. So on that front, Keon Ellis had a big night last night. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Find the fruit, the low-hanging fruit.
Uh-huh. Anything.
Yeah. I will say, and we've all talked about this, the NBA did the Kings no favors. That first month is brutal.
Unless that was all part of Scott Perry's covert tanking job.
Thought he picked up the phone and said, "Hey, league, schedule maker, I need you to front load me down.
Yeah.
I need all the losses."
Right.
Covert tanking at its finest. I wouldn't be surprised if this rides out a little longer than I think some people want to see. And meaning this form of who the team is. The season literally just started. I know, 12 games. Sooner or later, it'll be 20 here, and then we'll have the December 15th date, and, of course, you got some dates in January and trade deadline. Some things will come, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see this iteration of the team for the next month.
Right. I know. Yeah, that's I think it's a great point. I think it just speaks how awkward this could be, because now for the foreseeable, I mean, unless you're all in on, well, we could still win the in-season tournament. Got a big game tomorrow on that front. Yeah. But you're right. Yeah. So what are these next few games about, really? Yeah.
If you look around, Whitey, excuse me for jumping on you there. If you look around and you look at, who's bad, it's the kind of who we thought, right? The Nets, the Pacers, the Wizards, New Orleans. I mean, Dallas seems to be a little worse than I think they expected, but some people probably thought they were bad. No one, I don't think anyone thought the Clippers would be this bad
I agree.
so soon.
They certainly didn't.
No, yeah, very true. But then you really take a look, and it's kind of like, who's ready to deal already? Who's looking for someone of the ilk of a veteran who's been in the league for a long time, who's, turnkey ready to come in and assist and help? Have those teams stretched out their legs yet to really see, some of the questions that they had coming into the season?
Right.
I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think the teams that you look around and say, okay, well, we knew the Nets were going to be bad. Well, what do they want from us?
Mm-hmm.
Who are we willing to give up that they would say, you know what, we'll take them, unless they're trying to just, a la DeMar, which a lot of people are talking about his contract because it's partially guaranteed next year. For the most part, he's a one-and-done guy. This will be his year. You can pay the rest out.
Yeah, the trick is going to be how you can get out from under some of those veteran contracts and get something of value back without having to add sweeteners to them to get somebody to take them off your hands, because at that point, you're undercutting yourself. So we'll see. I'm also very interested to see and to listen to the timeline on this, because from what I've heard, obviously the Kings have not officially come out with anything, but I think they've made their intentions clear, and the plan, such as it is, they're making sure it gets out there, in my opinion. One of the things I've noticed so far, and I'll keep listening and watching to see if this number keeps popping up, you hear and see about a 2-year plan to rebuild, a 2-year plan. So is that the way they're trying to frame it? Again, we touched on this earlier, but I think it's a really important point, because if that's the Kings' plan, bless them. We know what happens to the best laid plans, and you just can't put a date on when your rebuild is going to start to bear fruit. You just don't know. Obviously, 2 years is like, okay, well, that sounds good. We could do that as fans. It'd be rough, but especially if this is a start, 2 years, okay. That seems like something we could do. But you just don't know, Jay, because you make a mistake here or there, or something unfortunate happens to a player that was going to be a key piece, and all of a sudden the 2 years stretches out longer than that. So 2 years would be for a rebuild. That'd be great, but nobody knows.
Yeah, and, we've asked this question before. Are we willing to squat on 2 years? And then also at the same time, are we also willing to not so much as wait the 2 years, but also trust the process?
Yeah.
There goes that phrase. Because I think a lot of Kings fans are scorned. They're scarred by the way this organization has operated, how they've drafted, some of the free agents that they brought in. And, it's the same question. Do you trust this organization, although it's a different regime, to do what is necessary and do what is right and bring in some cream of the crop or, young talent? It's just so many questions that's on the table as a Kings fan you're trying to figure out. But when I'm just talking about today, living in the moment, I think this team is going to be around the way it's constructed and built for at least another month and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe till the deadline even.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think something happens. Yeah. I think, I'm about 99.9% sure something is going to happen, because you can't go the whole season, operating in this form. But who knows? We don't know that. But it's going to be interesting to see once that first peg or domino falls, peg is put in or the dominoes falls, how people react. Because if it's something small, what are we going to hear, Whitey? It's, here we
that's
go.
All.
Yeah, that's exactly, mm-hmm. Right? And if it's something big, and if it's a distressed asset, if it's something that maybe a majority of onlookers don't like, or maybe they have a bad name throughout the league, what's going to happen too?
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to react?
That's terrible. Why'd they do that? This is awful. They don't know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost a no-win situation unless you get that prize possession, unless you get a number one pick. You know what the Kings need? And I was thinking about this. More times than not, and of course we got the number one pick when there really was just head.
It was not a great year to have the number one pick.
In 89. There was no one head and shoulders.
But people were excited. I'll tell you that. It was very exciting.
It's the first pick, right?
Yeah.
The Kings need almost a gimme, because you almost need it to be taken out of their hand. And it's not I know why you're laughing, but let me explain it real fast. It's too many moves are going to be in question by Kings fans in the NBA circle, no matter what happens. If it is up to Scott Perry and the front office and the ownership group and the head coaches, the new regime, it's inevitable that we look at history. It's inevitable. That's why we teach history in class. You got to know where you came from to know where you're going. The Kings need an almost gimme. So there's no questions asked, Whitey. It's you got the number 2 pick, and you don't need to do what the Warriors did and mess it up and go get a guy like James Wiseman who's not in the league. You need a top 3 pick this year. No matter whatever position you play, you're going to get one of the 3 guys that everybody says that guy's going to be something. And if you miss, no one can blame you.
Right. Well, yeah.
No, you can't, man. You can't because it's a gimme. Everyone says this is a 3-man. It's a 3-man draft.
Yeah.
One of the top 3 guys should give you an all-star. Now, if you get unlucky, and I don't want to talk about that, but you hear what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying, Whitey?
Yeah.
Don't leave it to the basketball gods anymore. We need the almost LeBron, the gimme, the Anthony Edwards, the Paolo, this dude is going to be good no matter what, the Tim Duncan.
And he might be there this year. Not LeBron, but not Tim Duncan, but, you mentioned Anthony Edwards. He was the consensus number 1, and he's a really good player. So, if you get the first pick, you get Boozer this year, maybe he's the guy. I do think that if the Kings end up in that position, if they end up where as the lottery approaches, it's clear that they're going to be in the lottery and they're going to be near the top of it, and fingers crossed on how the ping pong balls bounce, I think fans are going to start to get a little excited about that. But you asked the question, are fans going to believe that the organization can pull this off? Are they going to have faith that the organization can do this the right way? And we keep it real in this show, right, Jay? I would think that at least 75% of fans will say, nope. Now, that doesn't mean they're right, but given how we got here, given this franchise's history, most fans will not have faith in that this organization will do it right or do it well. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody got me. Man, you're right. Someone from the 916. Oh, you mean like when Luka was there and they drafted Bagley instead? Dog, you're right.
Yeah.
You are right. You are 100% right. And that's why.
Got him.
Man, we just can't get right sometimes. Huh? That's why we got to, if you get a top 3 pick, you don't go outside of the top 3 this year.
It looks like that should work out.
Hopefully. And maybe to keep it safe, 916, because you're 100% right, maybe we just need the number 1 pick.
That would be great.
Yeah. It's almost, though, you might want the 3rd because the 1st and the 2nd be no pressure. Would be the pressure. And the 3rd, you just take whoever comes to you, right?
Yeah.
Something, I guess what I'm trying to find is something to rebuttal what you just said, which is take it out of the hands of whoever is making the decision down there at the G1C, whoever you believe.
I think the Kings are in such a state right now that if they did end up with the first pick, let's not worry about whether they would get it right. I have confidence there's a good chance they would, but I think the organization would need that kind of bounce, that enthusiasm that comes with that sense of, wow, we got the first pick, this is going to be great, and it helps get people involved again. And it also would, at least on the surface, put your whole rebuild on the fast track. If you're trying to rebuild by acquiring draft picks and young assets and you were to end up with the first pick, woo, that's the e-ticket ride. Yeah, that would be a very good thing, Jay. Like you said, there'd be some cynics who would say, oh, they're going to get it wrong anyway. We'll see about that. But in the short term, this team and this franchise need wins, not wins like, oh, they're going to beat Minnesota tomorrow night. That's fine, but they need good things to happen, Jay. And if you end up winning the lottery, yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, they handle it right. But this franchise needs wins, and they need positive things, and that would be something you could hang your jock on.
The
number 1 pick.
Okay, I got you. They just need any type of win in any form or fashion.
Positive.
You take it, positive
things.
Something positive.
Yeah,
I got you.
You trade one of these players that you might want to trade, and you bring in somebody with a lot of upside. I don't even want to start getting into names because you know how it is. Then we start focusing on that. It's like, hold on, that guy might not even be available. Somebody comes here and they say, I love it here. This is great. I'm getting a chance. Fans are going to start to warm up to that. No?
If
it's somebody
I'd
who can
say
play.
yes. Well, let me say this. Yes, because Kings fans are phenomenal, and we're going to love anybody that comes here. So, yes to that.
They're also a lot more sophisticated than they used to be.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. You know, it must be that AI that my boys.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, they tried to say that you couldn't do.
Yeah.
The wins for me don't come on the court. I think it's time to be honest in certain situations. I'm not expecting that many wins on the court.
I'm with you.
Until something changes. As much as we want it to happen and we need it to happen, the gains and the wins are probably going to have to come from outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you put some wins together, then we'll start to have that conversation. But something positive needs to happen for sure. I'm with you.
Yeah.
No
and right
doubt.
now, there's this disconnect between a coach who's calling out the players and they're not playing the way we want to play. We heard that with Mike Brown last year.
Very
you
true.
hear too much of that. As a fan, it's very, because we all have situations where, with friends or coworkers or whatever, and you have disagreements. Like, we don't want that from our basketball team. We want them to entertain us. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. TC is back on Sactown Sports. It's time for Check It with TC. What's up, TC?
Hey, Whitey, Jay, mic check, man. Listen, Kings fans, y'all listen up. Y'all got me clear?
Yeah. Fire away.
Okay. All right, so listen up, bro. Everybody gonna fan how they gonna fan, right? But what I'm talking about as far as with Doug Christie, that's what you want from your head coach. You want your head coach to call players out for their BS, whether they veterans or not. This isn't about – that's a part of coaching. When you coach, it's about telling your players behind closed doors and in the public if it needs to be, right? That's when these players are disrespecting you when you tell them something behind closed doors and then you come out in the public doing something different, or vice versa, right? You ain't telling them behind closed doors, but then you keep talking about in the public. Bro, I respect what Doug is talking about. Doug came from the standpoint of, I was a player. I'm taking a bullet from you guys. This is the conversation they have. But when players start laying down and coming out talking about we're an offense first, we don't really want to play defense. Well, get out of here then. Stop playing. Let's find a spot for him now. That goes back to what I was saying, Whitey and Jay, Kings fans, when I said everybody thought I was crazy. When I said I don't care about the Hall of Fame status, building up his trade value, or any of that. If you're not doing what I want you to do, bro, then you're on a bench. I don't care about how many years you played in the league, what you built, because if you really want to talk, these dudes ain't won nothing. Zach LaVine, Domas, or DeMar, other than winning games and being a 20-point scorer. Bro, they ain't really did nothing in this league. We treat these guys like each one has won a championship. Neither one of those guys won anything. So if we're talking about we want a veteran on this team, we're talking about we want Westbrook, bro. Everybody else can leave other than the young generation, bro. That's what I got. My call today was to stand on what Doug said last night, and I'm not getting caught up in the whole Hall of Fame BS. Scott Perry moved these guys today.
Thank you, JC. I will say this. Let's take, for example, I don't know what's going on with any of the players, but let's just say, for example, DeMar. Let's say you felt that you were close to something with DeMar, that DeMar didn't want to be here, or you certainly know that you're probably better off if you can move him. And let's say you have reason to think, all right, something's cooking there. There's some interest. I would not be opposed to sitting him down and just sitting him out. And if the league comes a calling like, hey, you can't do that, all right, then fine me. Because I do not want him to play any of these players. Jay, I don't want any guy that I might trade. If I'm close to a trade, if I feel like, all right, something's going on, I'm sitting him down. Even if the league says, no, he's got to play. No, he doesn't. You can find me. I don't want an injury to ruin a potential trade here. It's more important for me to move those guys for their sake, for my sake. That's what matters. That's more important than saving some money. So if I got to sit some of those guys before I'm trading them, I will do that. I would applaud that. If you got a chance to trade a guy, sit him down. We're close to something. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. Stay home. If the league comes, Commissioner Silver, what's going on here? What do you think's going on, dumbass? We're going to trade him. We don't want him to get hurt. Let's go. That's the prime objective here going forward.
That's where you at with this?
Yes.
New blood, fresh blood, any blood.
Yes. I got something close on one of these guys. Yeah, I don't want to jeopardize that deal by having him play. And then, you know basketball. You know what can happen. Yeah. Can't have it. Can't have it.
Well, I tell you, it's gonna be a ride, isn't it?
Yes.
Put your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
It is a ride, and we're 12 games. We are literally 12 games in.
Yeah.
And we are fired up.
Yeah.
As we should be.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely should be fired up. TC said he don't care who it is. Whitey said it don't matter if you're close to a trade, send them all.
Yep. Send them home.
Dang.
Send you where you want to go. We'll send you on a trip. Send the family to Disney World. Just be careful. Don't get hurt.
Just be careful. Real fast. Let me ask you something, and you can't. I don't know you're not going to be able to answer this. Maybe you sleep on it. We come back tomorrow for a truncated show, as you like to say. Are we okay with accepting just about anything for some of these guys?
No way. No way. It's got to be young. That's the main thing. I can't really take on a lot more guards. I need length, youth, and I need there to be some promise there, some upside, even if it hasn't come close to being fulfilled yet. And especially, let's face it, I need somebody with some defensive upside if that's what I'm trying to build.
So in response to that, if you are trading, Domas.
Sure.
You're trading Domas. And they're saying, we're going to give you one first-round draft pick. We'll give you a couple of young guns. We know that's not his value. We know he has outplayed that. His value is way more than probably one first-rounder and a few youngsters with some promise. But that's the only thing you're getting. Are you pulling the trigger?
I would definitely consider it. It's hard to answer, impossible to answer without knowing the particulars, but just that at face value. Depending on the team, a first rounder, it would matter. Well, how good is that team? Where are they going to finish? And the youngsters, I would consider it. That's what I'd say, Jay.
Are you okay? So let me bring it down
Especially
a little bit.
That's the only interest I got.
Yeah, and that's the question is what we continuously hear is there aren't that many players in the game at the moment. Now, of course, that'll change as I said, we'll stretch our legs and teams will start to separate, and you'll see who believes they have some upside compared to, this is over with. Clippers are going to be interesting. They got a lot of OGs as well. Are we okay with getting from under some of these contracts and accepting, not so good return? Because that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't care. TC, he fired up, right? He fireman. He get rid of him.
I know the term that gets thrown around all the time is pennies on the dollar. I'm not ready to accept that. The problem with Domas, and I know we're running out of time here, the issue with Domas is for him to be worth what I'm paying him, I think I got to bring in a team that fits his skill set. I've got to kind of build around him, and I don't know that I have the luxury of being able to do that because I can't pick and choose now. When I'm going to trade some of these guys, I'm limited to, who's interested? What do they have?
Right.
And it's hard to do that and then still find guys that are going to fit like the way, let's face it. I mean, Monty did a good job. Monty and Mike Brown putting players around Domas that fit the way he played. You don't have that now, and I don't know that I could afford to try to build that around him.
Well, I mean, I just threw Domas out there. I'm saying any of these guys.
I understand. Yeah.
What are we willing to accept? And, of course, to each different person, they'll have a different response. But I'm also hearing from a lot of Kings fans and a lot of people, hey, just get rid of some of these dudes.
But that's emotional, don't you think?
I agree.
That's coming from emotion, and you got to do this.
And that's why I'm asking, are we willing to accept? If somebody said, man, we'll throw one first rounder and a second rounder and, one young player, and we want Zach, are we willing to give away that? Are we willing to say, okay, Zach, go ahead? Mm-hmm. Like, as you said, some of these conversations have to be had.
Yeah, that whole notion of just get rid of them is understandable, but it doesn't really help you in the long run. We'll continue the conversation tomorrow. Thanks very much for being with us today. We appreciate it. Jay and I back with you tomorrow. Now stick around because we got Thursday Night Football coming up. Sactown Sports.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing